Alright guys, so it's been a while since I posted a video on YouTube. It's probably been a few years, but I think one of the last ones I posted was my old GMC fire truck. Well, I got rid of it a few years ago and ended up owning a Deuce and a half for a little while, M35A2. Did a lot to it. I didn't ever hardly get any videos of it, but I'm going to start trying to make some how-to videos and, you know, just videos of me being ridiculous and showing y'all my new truck that I got. Today I'm going to try to do an oil change. 86, I'm sorry, it's an 85 GMC Brigadier 6V92 Detroit. Got a 13 speed. I don't know, I've had it for about a month, pulled it out of a field. I've done a bunch to it so far. It wasn't building any air pressure. Wiring was all shot from rat's nest, and had to put a few tires on it. It originally was had a fifth wheel on it, and the guy I got it from made it into a dump truck. And whenever he got a new truck, he pulled the dump bed off of it and left all the other stuff. So I didn't have any tail lights or anything on it, so I put some tail lights on it. And I still have to take the end dump cylinder off the front, and I'm gonna delete the PTO, remove some toolboxes, and I don't know, I'm gonna turn it into sort of a like a rat rod, mild resto build. Cab's pretty rotted out in the floorboard. The cab mounts on the front are pretty notorious for rusting out, and that's the case on this one. So one of the first things I did was straight pipe it, and boy, she sounds good. But right now, I already let it warm up this morning. Did a little cold start. It was about 50. Got down in the 30s last night. But I let it idle for 10 minutes or so just to warm the oil up, and I don't know what grade oil he had in it, but it's been sitting in the field for 11 years, and I'm gonna put some straight 40 weight low ash. Couldn't really get my hands on any Dello 100 or Rotella T1, so I ended up ordering a low ash oil from basically just an independent oil mixer. And I'll show you what I got whenever I get under there, but I'm gonna get set up and see if I can pull show you what I use to drain the oil in, and you know, just basically see if I can get the plug pulled and change the oil and filter on it and see how it goes. Alright, I tried to set the camera up the best I could and not get it covered in oil. I don't really know how this is gonna go, but this is just a storage tote from Home Depot. Fits perfect under the cross member. You can kind of move it around pretty good. I'm pretty sure this is this oil drain plug has a 3/8 drive square head on it. So I just got a breaker bar. It's actually a 1/2 inch breaker bar, but I put a 3/8 adapter. Let's see if we can get it broke loose. ain't bad at all. Oil ain't even hardly warm. Rich though, boy. So this truck, speedometer wasn't working when I got it. So the odometer wasn't working, but I don't know if that's just due to be, sitting in the field, or if it had actually quit working whenever the guy was still driving it, but it's showing a little over 500,000 miles. It says 6V92. I think it's TA. It's got a turbo. So, slobber tubes on this thing on the right side leak pretty good when it's idling until I get it out on the road. Once I drive it, it stops. So I'm thinking he may have put a multi-grade oil in it. But regardless, it needed to be changed. This is rich black, like crude oil black. And it was apparently pretty low on oil because it only drained about 2 or 3 gallons out. So get over there and see if we can pull the filter off. Alright, so actually I have the grill out right now. I'm going to try to paint it here in a little bit. But here she is, 6V92, got that turbo sitting right on top. Whenever I got it, the exhaust manifold gasket was leaking really bad. I mean, it was, I guess I don't even know what cylinder you would call this, number 2. The one on the front on the passenger side. So I bought a gasket. When I pulled the manifold off, it was just corroded bad on that cylinder. I guess it had been sitting for a long time. Anyways, so I wire wheeled it down and put a little black RTV on it, just on this cylinder, just to try to help it seal. And seems to be working. I had to put 3 of the 4 studs back out of the block whenever I was taking it off. So I replaced the studs and nuts. So if you ever do one of these, make sure you fully anticipate on doing the studs, because it ain't no fun. They're like a 7/16 by, I forget, it's fine thread. See, a 7/16 by what, 18 or 20? Can't remember. Fine thread 7/16, maybe 24. Anyways, yeah, that's, they're kind of they're hard to find. I think you can find them on McMaster, but they're a little bit short. They're, well, I guess, okay, so they're like 7/16 fine thread on the nut side, but whenever you actually thread it into the block, it's coarse thread 7/16, which is, I believe, 14. So you can actually find that on McMaster, but they're like an 1/8 inch short, which would be fine. Not a big deal, because you can see, these are the OEM and they stick out just a little bit, so you could probably actually put the shorter ones in there from McMaster. But I just ordered them from the same place I got my head gasket from. There's a place out of Florida, I believe, and shipping was 10 times higher than any of the parts. So I think I only got, $20 in a gasket and bolts, but I'm sitting at like $60 shipping, because I didn't realize I needed the studs whenever I got the gasket, so I had to do 2 separate orders, and shipping was like $20 per order, just flat rate. Anyways, so I went ahead and replaced the coolant, the antifreeze coolant, whenever I, because obviously whenever you pull those studs out, all the coolant comes running out. But anyways, I'm gonna see if I can get this oil filter off. Oop, you can see, it's been sitting, so I'm pretty sure that gasket's gone, because it's leaking. It's tight, but it's leaking. So I'm gonna set the camera up and see if I can get a shot of me trying to pull that off. All right, so I don't have a oil filter wrench anywhere near big enough for that, so I'm just gonna try to dig for channel locks. Oh yeah, that's probably why it was leaking. That wasn't too bad at all. See if I can slide this tub around a little bit. See if it'll catch some of the oil. She's already dripping. Just gonna let it drop into that tub if I can. This oil is thick. Man, that thing is hard to grab. I'm just gonna let it drain for just a second. That is some thick oil. I can't even grab it. Have this filter, that oil's so thick. Making a mess. Let me get a rag. Definitely be easier if I had a pit, but it's still not too bad. I've done way worse oil changes. Oh, there we go. Alright. Just gonna let that drain for a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna put a Baldwin filter on it. B95. I just, I don't even know if that's the right filter. It says it was. I did a cross reference. It had a CarQuest filter on it, and I just crossed over the CarQuest part number to a Baldwin, and says it was a B95, and it actually said it fit a Detroit 6B92. So we're going. Hopefully it works. I think it will. And then this is the 40 weight low ash oil that I got. I think I got it off of Amazon or eBay. Like I said, the Dello and the Rotella was about double the price of this. I think this was around $70 for a pail. And then all the Dello and the Rotella was, 120, $130 for a pail, and, $20 a gallon. So we're gonna try this out. It had good reviews. A lot of people on the I think it was Amazon on the reviews said that they were running it in their 71 series Detroits and their their buses and stuff like that. So one thing I do know that it's got to be better than what was in it. That oil was probably, I wouldn't be afraid to say that was the original oil, but I don't think it was. But it was probably at least 15 years old, I would assume. And, like I said, this truck was sitting in the field for 11 years, and it was definitely well used oil at this point. But yeah, so I'm gonna let this drain. I'm not in no big rush. I'm gonna let this drain as long as I can, just to get it all out. We'll see what happens. It looks like there's probably only about 3 gallons in it, but I don't even think this truck has a proper dipstick. But I'll put this 5 gallons in it, and we'll see where it's at. This dipstick doesn't do anything. I mean, when I pull it out, it shows there's oil on it, but I don't know how far in the pan it's actually going. But I'm gonna put this 5 gallons in it and see where it falls on that dipstick, and just use that as a reference point. That way I know if it's ever low, which it will be, because she's a leaker. But yeah. Alright, so while I'm waiting for that oil to finish draining, I'm just going to give you all a quick little rundown on some of my plans on this thing. I originally wanted to delete one of these axles and to make it a single axle and try to lower it And I may still do that in the future. It's got the old Hendrickson walking beam. So, there's no air ride, and, you can't really make it too much lower without, not, like C-channeling the frame or something like that. But I thought about deleting, some of them leaf springs out of that pack, because I'm not going to haul anything. I actually re-registered this truck as a 1-ton antique registration here in Texas. So I ended up, the guy that I got it from, he moved it about, I don't know, 2 years ago or so, he said, and he got in it and cranked it up, and the brakes, it wouldn't build any air pressure. So what he ended up doing was he just took his torch and cut the push rods on the brake chambers and just manually released the brakes instead of caging them. But so when I got it, it had no brakes at all. So I just bought new brake chambers for the front axle. So right now I only have brakes on the front axle, on the rear, and then on the front, the front axle, obviously the steer axle. But some of my future plans are, obviously, like I said earlier, I'm going to take this lift cylinder off. I'm going to take these 2 toolboxes off, and I'll probably end up mounting one of these toolboxes in the center, right behind the cab on the frame rail. I really wanted to lower it, and take one of the axles off, but I don't know. It's a lot of work. It's definitely not going to be one of the first things I do, but, as time goes on and I get this truck the way I want it, it's just a hot rod for me. I'm not going to work it at all. I may end up, lowering it and changing the wheels over. It's got the Bud style wheels. So, it's got Rockwell axles, 410 gear ratio. It's got a 13-speed Fuller. It runs good. Like I said, 410 ratio. I've had it up to 75, which is sketchy. But it's it's a breath of fresh air for me, because my 2 previous trucks, the fire truck I had, it only do 52, and then when I got the Deuce and a half, it was the same way. It would do 52, but I ended up changing the tires over to the 46-inch Michelins, and I could get about 65 out of it then. But you didn't want to cruise at 65, because it was just on the red line the whole time. So you could do 55 in it, but this thing cruises at 70. Like I said, the cab's rotted out pretty good. All in here, and you can tell he's tried to do some patchwork. We got several layers of carpet and mats and mud flaps, and there's a hole there. That's just, looks like some 12 gauge steel, maybe 14 gauge steel he put in there. Bad thing about having one of these trucks is you can't find parts anywhere. New parts. You can find used parts, but like this body mount bushing, yeah, I can't find that at all. So I have taken the batteries out and put a bottle jack here, and jack the cab up, and I shoved some wood under it, but it didn't last very long. It just flexed out, or the cab flexed on one of these back rows, and the wood fell out, so it dropped back down. I need to look into, I'll probably make a video about it, but I'm going to try to take those body bolts, the nuts off the body bolts, and do something there with the bushing. And then, I thought about trying to pull the cab off of it and, fix it. But that's a lot of work, so I don't know. I'll definitely just hobo it temporarily, and just to get it up, because the hood doesn't really sit right, and it's not good to just be riding like that. But like I said, I'm gonna delete the PTO. He already took the drive shaft off of it. I'm just gonna take it off, and that'll probably be a future video too. Taking the PTO off and putting the block off plate back in. There it is. You gotta drain all the oil out of the trans, and I'll probably just put the oil back in it instead of buying new oil, you know. But do that just to get it up off. I actually can't get it to disengage, so it runs all the time, which is probably not good. But yeah, so I'm just rambling now. Like I said, when I got the truck, nothing was working. Key switch didn't work. We actually pull started it with a backhoe so I could drive it up on the trailer. Still has a few little air leaks, but I did a bunch. Like I deleted the trailer brake handle, all the push buttons on the dash except for the spring brakes. You know, I just bypassed it all. I'm never gonna pull a trailer with air brakes. This has got the old three button style, and so like right now, you know, the windshield wipers aren't hooked up. They were all chewed up. The rats in this thing were outrageous. I spent a half a day with a shop vac just cleaning up rats' nests out of here. Took the doghouse cover off, and you couldn't even see the engine. It was packed full, like packed with you know, grass and leaves and, you know, nutshells and all kinds of stuff. So it was terrible. But I think I got most of it out. But whenever I do the deleting for the PTO, I'm gonna take this, you know, PTO selector out, and just go through it. I had to get the speedometer and the tack wasn't working, but I got both of those working. It was just the cables were froze up. Working on behind the dash on these trucks isn't the easiest thing in the world. You know, it was the same deal on my 9500 fire truck that I had the same dash. I didn't have to do a whole lot to it though, but this truck actually has factory AC. The belt's off of the compressor right now, but that's something I'm definitely going to look into get working. Just for the fact that, you know, summertime here in Texas is, you know, ridiculous, and both my two previous trucks weren't any fun to drive because it was so hot. You know, the deuce and a half was ridiculous. Like you couldn't enjoy yourself at all in that thing. You know, in the summertime it just immediately got hot, and then the fire truck was about the same way. But it was better than the deuce and a half because it actually had insulation in the cab and the vent windows and stuff you could open up. But if you're, you know, doing anything under 10 miles an hour, you know, these trucks are just, you know, once they get warmed up, that engine heat is just unbearable almost if it's 100 degrees outside. But this truck originally came from the Southern Pacific Railroad. It was orange. I'm the third owner. The truck was orange from the factory. Southern Pacific Railroad used it as like a maintenance of way. You know, they hauled you know, low boys to haul dozers, you know, whatever kind of equipment they had. I don't know where it was stationed at. I'm assuming Texas, since the guy that I got it from lived here, and he said they bought it from Southern Pacific. But I'm gonna paint it back orange, and whenever I get all the stuff off the frame, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna paint the frame back orange. You know, put some nice chrome center caps on it. I thought about going with the aluminum Alcoas on the front, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna get over here and see what this oil looks like and try to get set up. All right. Well, I think it's about done. I've been letting it drain for about 45 minutes now. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see me very well. Well, pre-filled the filter. Looks like it's about halfway full right now. See if I can get one more in there. See if I can get in here. I'm sure I'll completely block the camera, but let's see here. Wow, this whole way down here. bag so I can get that sucker on there good. Got oil all over my gloves. Really need a strap wrench. Got all that stuff at work. I'm just gonna have to get in there, I guess. I got that sucker as tight as I can get it. Whew. Pop it off. Check the leaks. All right. Get back over on the other side. Let's see if I can go ahead and pull this out. Have a mess to clean up, boy. It's not a big deal. All right. It's a little plug. Just seen an old Ford L9000 drive by, or an 8000. That's crazy. I ain't never seen that truck before. A little single axle. It didn't sound like a Detroit though. Probably a little Cummins in it. All in this oil, boy. Make sure I take my hoodie off before I get in my damn pickup. I'll get a little bit more on it. I don't know what the torque spec is. That's about good right there, though, I bet. Wipe it off. That is ridiculous. That's some black oil right there. All right, I'm gonna get set up. Got this old jug here that I cut off. I'm trying to make a funnel somehow. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That works. Let's see if I can hit a hole. A little bit on the exhaust. That ought to smoke pretty good. Funnel's working pretty good. I think I'm going a little too fast for the screen though. See it running down the valve cover. That's perfect. Perfect. Man, that's gonna smoke like hell. I don't know if y'all can see it from that last camera angle, but yeah, that's easily a quart of oil on the ground that I spilled. I'm about to wash the truck now. Probably just pull it forward into the grass and see if I can get all this oil off I can before it just starts smoking. It's gonna smoke like crazy. It's all down the back of the frame rail. That's ridiculous. I'll show you that little screen I was talking about. Don't make no damn sense. I mean, what's that gonna stop? Except oil. Crazy. I'm gonna get up here, fire it up real quick and watch the oil pressure, check for leaks, and then I'm gonna button the hood up and pull it out and clean the damn carport up. Come on, oil pressure. There we go. I was starting to get a little concerned because I don't even think I had enough air pressure to kill it. I'd have had to scramble and get under the hood and try to kill it manually. All right, it's a little bit low on oil. I went ahead and ordered another bucket, and we'll be fine. I'm fixing to, I'm gonna crank it up, and I'm just gonna go around the block real quick and see what it sounds like.